Aloha everybody, and welcome to Beachwalks with Rocks. Today is show number 66 and you can find us at beachwalks.tv. Hi there. Hi there. So I'm fascinated with, this human aspect of human nature that really wants to predict things. Astrology, the weather, stock forecasts. And I think, historically, our ability to predict things has been mediocre at best and absolutely worthless in many cases. And I have those same urges, to want to know what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen this afternoon. And, the reason I'm thinking about this is when I left my house, it was perfectly sunny. And then I get down here to the beach and it's quite cloudy and overcast. And that's only a 7-minute drive. So I thought I could predict that it would be sunny down here today, but lo and behold, it's not, so who cares? But I'm actually quite engaged in a process in my own life of trying to live with less and less certainty. In fact, a couple of years ago, one of my goals for that year, I set up not so much a New Year's resolution, but a New Year's attempt at greater consciousness. And my phrase was comfort with uncertainty, growing more comfortable with uncertainty, because life these days, certainly, as time seems to speed up, more and more information is being generated, the internet is having such an impact on things that it's becoming increasingly more difficult, I think, to predict what's going to happen. We might be able to predict little things that have fairly consistent triggers and behavior patterns, but there's all kinds of other things going on in the world, 9/11, Katrina, the tsunami in Indonesia, all of these things that just aren't anywhere on anyone's radar, and they have these huge impacts in our lives, and things change dramatically. The funeral from yesterday's show, I was so moved by that, and I learned that Joan had a stroke, and she told her husband that she had a headache, she wasn't feeling well, and she went to lay down. 5 minutes later, she was unconscious and she never came back. And she was a young woman in her early 70s, very active, very healthy. So, no warning, no indication that that was about to happen. And so I think for my life, if I can grow increasingly more open to the fact that I really don't have a clue what's going to happen 5 minutes from now, an hour from now, 3 days from now, for me, that really helps me focus on the here and now. What is it that I want to do right now? What is it that's most important to me right now? And that's one of those platitudes we've heard, people say forever. No one, or few people anyway, probably there's someone, who is on his or her deathbed and said, I wish I had worked more. But nonetheless, we tend to get very caught up in our work. At least here in America, we do. So that's my topic for today. We can't know the future, so we might as well really thoroughly enjoy living in the here and now. And Lexi, for me, is just such a great example of the here and now. Aren't you, Lex?
Tony Sanchez.
Tony?
And this is Anthony Sanchez.
And you're Tony also.
Yeah.
Okay, but you go by Anthony.
Right.
Great. So, unpredictability. You never know who you're going to meet here on the beach. You said you're visiting from Portland.
That's right.
And tell me about what you're doing
I
here.
live Waianae side.
Waianae, yeah.
Working Mauna Loa.
Okay. Great. How did you come pick Hawaii?
I was actually offered as a job offer that my girlfriend's dad offered. So for a couple of years, and I thought, why not?
Great.
Chance to live in Hawaii for a while.
Exactly.
Mhm.